What is he doing? I don't even know.
I can't believe that dude got busted for vandalism. That's crazy.
Speaking of vandalism, Samari, I saw you spray painting the other day. What were you doing?
Oh, what, man? That's nothing, man. It's a free country. I can do whatever I want.
Don't you know about the law, social contract, the Constitution?
What?
If everybody went around doing what they want, we live in a state of chaos. We give up some of our rights in order for protection.
Yeah, imagine if everyone went around the world spray painting. The world would be so dirty.
Yeah, not only that, but people would be doing terrible things to each other. The world wouldn't even just be the same. Without social contract theory, society wouldn't be the way it is today.
Like how?
The LSL Constitution has it. I mean, there are different types of government.
Like what?
Like dictatorships, anarchies, republics, monarchies.
I guess you're right, but who thought of it in the first place? Like, whose idea was the social contract theory?
The social contract theory was actually first thought of by the Enlightenment thinkers like Locke, Hume, Machiavelli.
Hobbes talked about the state of nature and how it was inferior to a civil society.
And Locke addressed the natural rights, life, liberty, and property, and he talked about the separation of powers.
I'm gonna go get some more juice.
Okay.
Wait, so you're talking about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right?
No, that was Thomas Jefferson, one of our founding fathers.
Oh, here we go with all this Constitution stuff. God, so boring.
Actually, it was the Declaration of Independence. However,
Same thing.
the U.S. Constitution talks about our social contract.
Really?
Yeah, the first 10 amendments are called the Bill of Rights. They explain some of the rights we have as U.S. citizens.
What? I thought the first 3 articles did that.
No, the first 3 articles talk about the structure of the government.
Article 1 is the legislative branch, which talks about who makes legislation. The House of Representatives take care of that.
But what power do they have?
They have some power over trade regulation, some fiscal power, and military power. I think that the military power is the most important of them all.
Are you sure? Because I think that the drafting legislature would be the most important power.
Oh. Didn't think of that.
Well, you know, Article 2 goes into the executive branch, you know, like the president and its cabinet.
Oh, really? He makes cabinets?
No, the president has veto power, like appointments, nominations. He signs the treaties, and in an emergency, he has the power to help us out when we're in trouble.
In Article 3?
Oh, no.
Article 3 describes the judicial branch, the Supreme Court and whatnot.
Oh, I bet they don't have any power.
Actually, they do. They oversee justice underneath the law.
Are you even in government? How do
Yeah.
you not know any of this?
Oh, well, you know, I mean, it's whatever. Like, I probably know more than you guys about government.
Like what?
Well, let me think. What do you guys know about the frontier?
The what? Is that even important?
Is it even important? Is the shaping of our nation even important? The frontier was a key time in the development of American culture. It was a period in which thousands of people headed west to settle and claim land. The land, which was once inhabited by the most resourceful and conservative people in the world, the Native Americans, was now being dominated and taken by greedy American Westerners. The Americans brought with them the American culture, and eventually American Indian culture was a thing of the past.
Okay, but how did the Americans dominate the whole entire culture of the Native Americans?
Well, the American pioneers had a lot more power than the natives. I mean, they had guns, and the guns easily outpowered the Native Americans' obsidian bows and arrows.
You mean they just killed all the natives?
No, not quite. The American Indians wanted to use guns too, and the Americans were the only people they could get them from. So the Americans would charge ridiculous prices for the cheapest, worst guns.
Yeah, but that doesn't say how the whole entire culture got wiped out.
Well, Americans would also make settlements all over the country, and then they would need to trade and communicate throughout the different settlements. Sooner or later, a network formed between the different towns or ranches, and the Native Americans just didn't have any place to go. So the government set up living stations called reservations, and the reservations weren't the greatest place to live. Matter of fact, they were really poor. And it wasn't just the Native Americans that didn't have a place to live that had to live there, but it was all of them. And even to this day, these reservations are very poor and sad. They're some of the poorest places in the world.
Wow, I guess you really do know something, Samari.
Okay, I can see how that could be a key point in our culture today. I mean, if it wasn't for the frontier, we probably wouldn't even be in California today.
Exactly. Now who's smarter than government?
We are. Well, let's go downstairs.
So tell me again how you guys know more about me and government.
Well, we know about the voting process and how officials are elected.
Well, everybody knows that. I mean, it's a democracy. You just go and vote, right?
Actually, it's not that simple. We have an indirect democracy. So your individual vote for the president isn't really counted.
Yeah, it's an indirect democracy. So when you vote, the Electoral College takes your votes and they vote on the majority of how all of us in the nation have voted.
Wait, so it's like the Electoral College represents us in the voting process?
Pretty much.
All right. I'll give you that one. But you still don't know more about me and government. I mean, I knew everything about the frontier. Everything. Just ask me. I'll answer any question.
Whatever, Samari. If you really want to prove something, then how about you detail all the 5 basic values?
The 5 basic values of American political culture?
Yes.
Okay, well, liberty and all of this free country business is definitely one of them. The Founding Fathers wanted to make sure that all citizens had equal rights and the freedoms to live their lives happily. And equality of opportunity is definitely one of them too. Even though here in America things aren't always equal, technically the opportunity is out there for anybody. So the equality of opportunity is a basic value. Oh, and individualism is one of them too. Living in a capitalistic society, this is going to be inevitable. Depending on your values, this could be a good or a bad thing.
Okay, that's 3, but you're still missing 2.
Well, as citizens, we have civic duties that, when they're carried out, make society a better place. Oh, and the last one, that's democracy, which you just told me about. I got it.
Okay. Well, speaking of democracy, Miana, did you get that de Tocqueville assignment?
No, I didn't even understand it, to be honest with you.
Here, think of it like this. Think back to freshman year, like before Power School. You have no clue what your grades are. And so when progress reports came out, you would run home, look at your grades, and see how you're doing. You would see what you need to work on, and you see what you're doing good on. Well, that's really what de Tocqueville was doing.
Oh, I get it. So de Tocqueville gave us a review of how our society is doing.
Yeah. Have you guys noticed how all this stuff is in the 17 and 1800s? Like, I understand how important it is, but sometimes it just seems like it's irrelevant. Like, I get it. There's people in Washington working hard and doing their job. What else do I need to know?
Well, that mindset is to blame for Watergate. I mean, people had that blind trust in the government, and before you knew it, it was corruption. Woodward and Bernstein's discovery of Watergate really changed American political culture forever. I don't think people will ever just let things like that happen, now that the press and the media are constantly investigating what's going on in the government nowadays.
Oh, so is that why there's so much political, boring stuff on TV?
Yeah, so next time you watch TV, be thankful and pay attention to this political, boring stuff. Because without it, there will be a lot of shady dealings going on in Washington, and the world just will never be the same.